midnight, you're tuning in to Nightline with me, Azaria Tagaya. News making the headlines. Government will not entertain protests by elites on affordable home initiatives. And no need to declare Jalan Masjid India as unsafe zone. Good morning. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim stated that the government will not entertain protests by the elites against the construction of affordable homes in the capital. The Prime Minister stressed that the government is firm and clear about its approach to ensure the housing needs of the people are met. According to Anwar, a city's greatness is measured by its government's ability to serve and safeguard the interests of all its residents, irrespective of their socio-economic status.
Jadi orang yang miskin ni, yang pendapatan rendah, pekerja-pekerja nak duduk di mana? Yang baik-baik, kawasan yang baik diambil oleh golongan kaya. Saya tidak bawa perseteruan kaya miskin. Saya nak ajak rakyat ini bersatu, ni semangat merdeka. Ya. Tetapi bagaimana nak bersatu kalau kita pinggirkan satu bahagian?
Anwar said this at the groundbreaking ceremony for the Residency Surya Madani housing project in Taman Desa, Kuala Lumpur on Thursday. The Prime Minister also wants the government's affordable housing initiatives to be expedited to meet the high demand, especially from the low and middle income groups, while ensuring that these homes are comfortable and well equipped with necessary facilities. The Residency Surya Madani project by property developer Mahsin Group will involve the construction of 2 blocks of 800 housing units on a 0.99 hectare plot, with each unit measuring 800 square feet and priced at 200,000 ringgit. However, it is understood that residents groups in Taman Desa have opposed the project. Earlier, it was reported that 16 residents groups had written a letter to the Prime Minister to express their dissatisfaction with excessive development in the area, saying it had led to traffic congestion and ruined the beauty of the surroundings. The letter was also to express concern over the approval given to Mahsing to build a housing project with an excessively high plot ratio, which the residents said would worsen their predicament. In another development, Anwar has criticised the opposition for politicising the sedition charge brought against Perikatan Nasional Chairman Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. The Prime Minister said that an investigation was launched following a police report lodged against Muhyiddin by the Pahang Palace.
Jadi tak usah dia pusing. Dia tahu cuma dia nak main politik. Saya nak nasihat, isu ini diangkat oleh Istana Pahang, Istana Selangor. You buat melanggar peraturan dan you terlanjur, you have to deal with it. Okay? Tak usah duk nak gunakan ini sebagai politik. Saya langsung tak jawab dan saya bagi tahu menteri-menteri serah kepada Presidius. Ya, laporan dibuat, polis ambil laporan daripada Istana Pahang, sebelumnya Istana Selangor, dan dia ambil tindakan dan Peguam Negara ambil tindakan susulan.
On Wednesday, the Bersatu Supreme Council condemned what it calls the government's decision to charge Muhyiddin, who is also the party's president, with sedition. They claimed that the charges against Muhyiddin was another example of selective prosecution for political and nefarious reasons aimed at putting pressure on Bersatu and the PN leadership. The former Prime Minister was charged last Tuesday at the Gua Musang Sessions Court for allegedly making seditious remarks about the previous Yang di-Pertuan Agong while campaigning during the recent Nenggiri state seat by-election. There is currently no need to declare the area of Jalan Masjid India in Kuala Lumpur, where a sinkhole incident recently occurred, as an unsafe zone. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein explained that in order to declare an area unsafe, the police must obtain special permission from the National Security Council, MKN.
Tak perlu lagi. Kalau kita nak gadgetkan dia zon tak selamat, kita terpaksa gadgetkan bahawa ini adalah bencana. Dia ada dirikan dia punya pusat kawalan operasi, dia kita bergerak ke arah itu, tetapi kita tak declare dia bencana.
Razaruddin said this at a press conference after witnessing the handover of duties of the Kelantan Police Chief at the State Contingent Police Headquarters in Kota Bharu on Thursday. Police have cordoned off the route from Jalan Masjid India towards Jalan Raja Laut after a second sinkhole appeared in the same area on Wednesday. Pedestrians and vehicles are not allowed on the 400-metre stretch of road, but footpaths remain open and businesses are still permitted to continue their operations. Last Friday, an Indian woman identified as 48-year-old Vijaya Lakshmi, who was on vacation in the country with her family, was swallowed by an 8-metre deep hole and disappeared. After 7 days of searching, rescuers have yet to find any signs of the woman, apart from a pair of slippers belonging to the victim. Meanwhile, a 15-metre-long obstruction is currently hampering search and rescue efforts for the Indian tourist who is still missing. Fire and Rescue Department Director General Datuk Nur Hisham Mohamad said the obstruction is causing a backlog of water in the sewer near Jalan Masjid India.
Selepas kita melihat kepada dan membaca jarak gerakan kamera itu, kita percaya bahawa terdapat halangan di dalam paip daripada jarak manhole Wisma Yakin 7.6 meter ke atas ke kita, menyebabkan berlaku backlog kepada debris, iaitu lebih kurang pada anggaran kita ialah lebih kurang 15 meter.
He said efforts to clear the obstruction, located 44 metres away from the site where the woman fell, were initiated at around 5 p.m. Based on observations from the team tasked to enter the sewer, objects including bottles, tyres and solidified fats were causing the backlog. Beginning at 12 a.m. on Thursday, firefighters worked on partially diverting the flow of water in order to reduce the water level in the pipes. Authorities also used high-capacity pumps capable of pumping between 10,000 to 20,000 litres of water to further reduce the water level. 2 cameras were also deployed to gauge the water levels in the underground channel. Rescuers began to see results at 4 a.m. when the water level in the pipes went down from 1.5 metres to 0.8 metres. A company based in India is set to invest $1 billion or 4.32 billion ringgit in Malaysia. The investment involves the establishment of the country's first artificial intelligence AI park and AI movie studio. Digital Minister Gobind Singh Deo on Thursday said that this followed a series of meetings with business leaders in New Delhi recently, including from Eros Investments Group and its subsidiary Immerso AI IP. He added that the high-value investment from Eros and Immerso could potentially create 5,000 job opportunities for Malaysians over the next 5 years. He added the Immerso AI Park will encompass an AI university and an AI data centre, which will drive global collaborations to support startups, while the AI movie studio and Film City Hub will enhance talent skills in transmedia and digital production in Malaysia. He also said that these ventures will identify opportunities to incorporate Malaysian content into the company's existing and new intellectual properties. How is Malaysia's science, technology, engineering and mathematics STEM education strategy driving foreign investment and economic growth? And how are recent policies and partnerships tackling the skills gap and supporting industry needs? Money Matters with National Tech Association of Malaysia PCOM Chairman Ong Cheng Siong this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton. The Royal Commission of Inquiry RCI report on the Batu Puteh, Middle Rocks and South Ledge issue will be tabled in Parliament. The Cabinet has also decided that the report's recommendations will be debated by members of Parliament. According to Law and Institutional Reform Minister Datuk Sri Azalina Uthman Said, the Cabinet made the decision following the presentation of the report by RCI Chairman Tun Mat Raus Sharif at Wednesday's Cabinet meeting. In a statement, Azalina said the Cabinet is deeply concerned about national sovereignty issues and has decided that the RCI report should be tabled in Parliament, with recommendations in the report to be debated. Earlier this month, the RCI submitted its classified final report to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim at Istana Negara. The RCI was tasked with reviewing the handling of matters related to the sovereignty of Batu Puteh, Middle Rocks and South Ledge. The issue stems from a decision made by the government in 2018 to withdraw Malaysia's application to review the International Court of Justice's decision on the sovereignty of Batu Puteh. Police have recorded statements from a politician and her husband in connection with alleged human trafficking activities in Myanmar. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein said the statements from the couple were taken in July, soon after the first article on the issue was published in Myanmar.
Masih ini siasatan kita masih kita teruskan dan kita juga nak mendapatkan artikel yang dikeluarkan oleh pihak Myanmar. Kita dapatkan dan juga kita mencari saksi-saksi yang mana yang terlibat ke arah siasatan kita.
On Wednesday, a non-governmental organisation had come forward to urge the authorities to investigate allegations of a local politician's involvement with the human trafficking syndicate in Myanmar. This comes after a viral video claiming that the politician and her husband were actively involved in the syndicate. It was revealed that the syndicate operated using job scams as well as by forcing victims to operate online gambling fraud schemes. It was also alleged that the person in question had been involved in the syndicate since 2020. Meanwhile, former Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Dato' Mashita Ibrahim, has lodged a police report over accusations linking her to a human trafficking syndicate in Myanmar. Denying her involvement in such activities, she said the information of the alleged involvement came from tabloid media in Indonesia. As such, Mashita said she had lodged a police report and given her statement at Bukit Aman on Wednesday. The body of the Royal Malaysian Navy RMN diver who drowned during a salvage operation off Johor's coast was brought to Lahad Datu, Sabah for burial on Thursday. The aircraft carrying the body of leading Seaman 1, 28-year-old Arman San Hermansa, arrived at Tawau Airport at 7:30 p.m. His remains were accorded full military honours in a ceremony conducted by 9 RMN personnel before being transported to his hometown in Sapagaya, Silam. Earlier, Arman's body was claimed by his wife, 25-year-old Nur Razliana Bakri, at the Forensic Medical Department of Sultan Ismail Hospital in Johor Bahru at 12:50 p.m. RMN officers and personnel, as well as friends of the deceased, also gathered at the hospital as early as 8 a.m. The body was then flown by a Royal Malaysian Air Force RMAF aircraft from the Senai International Airport to Tawau. During the incident on Wednesday, the Navy diver was found unconscious during the salvage operation for KD Pendeka, which sunk in the waters off Tanjung Penyusup on August 25th. The deceased was diving with his partner at 11 a.m. but went missing at 12:29 p.m. He was later found drowned near the sunken vessel. 4 dead after Typhoon Shanshan makes landfall in Japan. This and more from the Foreign Front when Nightline returns.
So, mak aku bolehlah bawa beg ni pergi pasar ke? Pergi marhaban tiba, marhaban tiba, marhaban tiba.
Takkan mahal macam nak pergi pasar.
Anda bakal menjadi jutawan! Ya! Tutup mulut kau, Rozi. Hah? Tutup. Betul kata Dr. Malik. Kerja dekat sini tak boleh jadi jutawan, jutawan, jutawan.
Diving deep into the business world.
With expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
on TV3 and stream on Tonton. We're back with foreign news. At least 4 people have been killed in southwestern Japan on Thursday as Typhoon Shanshan brought strong winds, torrential rains and landslides. The storm made landfall near Satsuma Sendai City with gusts of up to 198 kilometers per hour. Dozens of people were injured as fierce winds damaged houses, leaving 250,000 people without power. Factories were seen shut down and around 600 flights were cancelled as some areas have been hit with more than 700 millimeters of torrential rain. Meanwhile, authorities warned that the storm could be one of the strongest ever to hit the region, with 5.2 million people issued evacuation orders in several prefectures. After striking Kyushu over the next few days, the storm is expected to approach central and eastern regions, including the capital, Tokyo. Whereas in India, Tripura has been declared a natural calamity area on Thursday after unprecedented floods caused widespread destruction and dozens of deaths. According to officials, the floods, which were triggered by heavy rain, have killed at least 31 people in recent days, and that the damage to property and infrastructure is estimated at about $1.8 billion. They added that more than 53,000 people were rendered homeless and are now sheltering in 369 relief camps. Meanwhile, authorities in the western state of Gujarat noted that the death toll from rain-related incidents for the past 3 days have reached 35, and that about 18,000 people have been evacuated from the state's flooded cities and villages. In South Korea, 2 people were injured in Seoul after a car they were travelling in was swallowed by a sinkhole that opened up on Thursday. According to local media, the incident occurred at 11:26 a.m. local time when the vehicle carrying a driver and a passenger overturned and crashed into the sinkhole. The 2 who were injured, a woman in her 70s and a man in his 80s, suffered serious injuries and were promptly transported to hospital. The sinkhole caused severe traffic congestion, and further investigation is underway to determine the cause of the sinkhole. France has charged the founder and chief of Telegram, Pavel Durov, with a litany of violations related to the messaging app and banned him from leaving the country. Durov was charged on Wednesday with several counts of failing to curb extremist and illegal content on the app following a hearing with investigating magistrates in Paris. However, he was granted conditional release against a bail of $5.56 million on the condition that he must report to a police station twice a week as well as remain in France. The charges concern alleged crimes involving an organized group, including complicity in the administration of an online platform to enable an illicit transaction. Durov has also been charged with refusing to share documents demanded by authorities, as well as dissemination in an organized group of images of child pornography, as well as drug trafficking, fraud and money laundering. A bright start for national shuttlers. Action from the 2024 Paris Paralympics after this breather. Diving deep into the business world.
With expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Dengan tripping ke?
Satu insulator pada menara tersebut telah pecah. Kalau kita nampak, memang kita dah tak nampak ada apa insulator tu.
Kerja-kerja hotman ni antara kerja-kerja yang bahaya dalam Malaysia. Apabila kita tersilap, kita boleh mendapat luka yang serius atau boleh membawa
Di pulau memang kita tak ada shift, cuma kita dalam keadaan standby 24 jam satu hari lah.
Apa pun saya memang kena kuat demi tugas saya dan keluarga saya.
We're back with sports. The 2024 Paris Paralympics. National para-shuttlers Chia Liek Hao and Muhammad Faris Anwar opened their men's singles SU5 campaign on a bright note as they outplayed their respective opponents on Thursday. In a Group A match, Liek Hao proved to be too hot to handle for Polish shuttler Bartosz Mroz as the world #1 player cruised to a 21-10, 21-6 victory in 26 minutes. The 36-year-old will take on Meryl Locquet of France in his second Group A match on Saturday. Meanwhile, Faris Anwar, who played in the same category, made an impressive debut at the Games as he pulled off an upset over second seed from Taiwan, Fang Zhenyu, 21-14, 21-18 in a Group B match. In the men's singles SL4 category, Muhammad Amin Burhanuddin faced a different fate in his Group B match. Despite winning the first set 21-17, Amin ultimately lost to India's Sukant Kadam with the final set score of 15-21, 20-22. Meanwhile, national boccia athlete Nur Askuzaimi Mat Salim earned her first win in the women's individual BC4 category. Nur Askuzaimi clinched an 8-6 victory against Ukraine's Natalia Konenko in the Pool B match to set up a meeting with Alison Levine of Canada. In the swimming event, national para-swimmer Muhammad Nur Shaiful Zulkafli's hopes of advancing to the final of the men's 200-metre freestyle S5 diminished on Thursday. The 29-year-old swimmer from Sarawak finished the preliminary round in 9th place out of 12 participants after recording a time of 2 minutes 52.67 seconds. Earlier, national para-track cyclist Muhammad Yusuf Hafizi Shaharuddin also missed out on the final of the men's 3,000-metre individual pursuit C1 event. The 26-year-old finished 5th out of 7 participants with a time of 3 minutes 55.254 seconds. Earlier, the City of Lights illuminated into a dazzling spectra once again as the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games kicked off in grand fashion with a breathtaking opening ceremony. Thousands of athletes paraded down the famed Champs-Élysées Avenue to Place de la Concorde in central Paris, where French President Emmanuel Macron officially declared the Games open on Wednesday night. The spectacular ceremony opened with a Discord segment featuring 140 dancers as a strict society and 16 creative gang performers, showcasing a society that claims inclusivity but fails to fully integrate people with disabilities. About 4,400 athletes from a record 168 delegations are competing for a total of 549 gold medals. On to badminton, the 2024 Korea Open national top women's doubles pair, Pearly Tan and Tina, was forced to dig deep before booking their place in the quarterfinals on Thursday. Losing the first game to Taiwan's Nicole Chan and Lin Chi-chun 21-23, the world number 9 duo bounced back to claim the next 2 sets 21-12, 21-12 after 43 minutes on court. Pearly and Tina will next face another Taiwanese duo, Teng Chun-hyun, Yang Chu-yun in the quarterfinals. Also making it through to the quarterfinals were national mixed doubles pairs Chang Tang-ji and To Yi-wei and Go Sun-hwat and Shevan Lai. Fourth seeds Tang-ji and Yi-wei only needed 34 minutes to claim a straight set 21-16, 21-19 win over Taiwan's Liu Kuang-heng, Zheng Yu-chie, while Sun-hwat and Shevan defeated another Taiwanese pair, Chen Zi-rei, Yang Ching-tun, 21-13, 21-17. Tang-ji and Yi-wei and Sun-hwat and Shevan will face off in the last stage on Friday, which also means Malaysia is guaranteed a spot in the semi-finals. In the men's doubles action, Chong Hon-jian and Haikal Nazri's campaign ended in the second round after falling to Homestead's Choi Sol-yu, Hyo Kwang-hee. The world number 19 duo battled hard before losing 18-21, 21-12, 17-21 to the South Korean pair. Mixed doubles pairs Tan Kian-ming, Lai Pei-jing and Wong Tian-chi, Lim Chiu-hsien, as well as men's doubles pairs Goh Vi-shim and Boon Jin-yuan were among the other shuttlers to have crashed out. Moving on to tennis and the 2024 US Open. Novak Djokovic reached the third round after his opponent Laslo Djere had to withdraw in the third set due to an injury during their second round clash. The defending champion was leading 6-4, 6-4, 2-love when Djere called it quits. World number 109 Djere, who pushed his countryman to 5 sets in New York last year, required a medical timeout to treat an injury after dropping the second set. Djokovic will next meet Australia's Alexei Popyrin in the third round. Joining him was Andrei Rublev. The 6th seed took 4 hours and 6 minutes to claim a 4-6, 5-7, 6-1, 6-2, 6-2 win over France's Arthur Rinderknech in hot and humid New York conditions. The Russian will next play Jiri Lehechka in the third round. Earlier, Taylor Fritz produced a dominant performance where the 12th seed downed 219 semi-finalist Matteo Berrettini 6-3, 7-6, 6-1 to reach the third round. The American will now face Francisco Comesana. Rohingya man charged with murder of wife and children. The details when we come back.
Sari.
Tashira.
Sari.
Tashira.
Kat sini ada dokumen.
Okey. Hai, saya Sri.
Hai, saya Bashira. Jangan lupa tahu untuk saksikan kami di Jabatan Call Center. Setiap hari Jumaat.
Jam 10 malam hanya di
TV3.
Dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Bye-bye. Mereka di Barisan Harapan merawat anggota tercedera ketika tempur.
Company perubatan para ini adalah sumber moral kepada anggota-anggota yang lain.
Mampu diatur gerakan dari udara, laut dan darat.
Anggota company perubatan para, kami perlu mempunyai satu tahap kekuatan fizikal yang mental yang tinggi.
Company Perubatan Para, episod istimewa Hello Doktor sempena Hari Kebangsaan, Ahad ini 5.30 petang di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Back with us on Nightline. A Rohingya man was charged in 2 separate magistrates' courts in Alor Star, Kedah on Thursday with the murder of his wife and his 2 young children last week. No plea was recorded from 43-year-old Abdul Gapur Doli Ahmad, as murder cases fall under the jurisdiction of the High Court. In the first court, presided over by Magistrate Siti Nur Hidayah Muhammad Noor, Gapur was accused of murdering his 34-year-old wife, Nur Begum Mat Yassin, behind an abandoned building along the Sultan Abdul Halim Highway on August 18th. He was also charged with murdering his youngest son, 23-month-old Abdul Hakim, in front of a hardware store along Lorong Tunku Muhammad, Jalan Pegawai on August 19th. In a separate court before Magistrate Nur Shifa Hamzah, Gapur was accused of murdering his 10-year-old daughter, Lianata, at the same location where her mother was killed on August 18th. The murder charges were framed under Section 302 of the Penal Code, which carries the death penalty or a minimum of 30 years in jail upon conviction. At the same court, Gapur, who holds the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees card, also pleaded guilty to consuming amphetamine, methamphetamine and morphine. Both courts did not set bail and fixed November 26 for next case mention. It was earlier reported that the man was arrested at a mosque in Bukit Pinang after slashing the throats of his wife and kids with a machete. His other child, aged 5, was unharmed and is under the temporary care of the Social Welfare Department. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC has frozen a total of 36 million ringgit in bank accounts linked to a subsidised diesel smuggling syndicate in Sarawak. The accounts belonged to a gas station operator and 2 enforcement officers involved with the syndicate in Cebu. According to sources, the action was taken following an operation dubbed Op Liter conducted last Sunday in Sungai Bidut, Cebu, which targeted a syndicate involved in misappropriating diesel meant for fishermen's associations and alleged malpractices by enforcement personnel. 2 brothers working as gas station operators were arrested, as well as an enforcement assistant and a director of an enforcement agency in Kuching. The siblings, who were remanded for 4 days, have been released on bail on Thursday. On Tuesday, a director of an enforcement agency in Kuching was arrested on suspicion of receiving bribes from the syndicate. The male suspect in his 40s was detained at the state MACC office at 6:20 p.m. and is on remand until this Monday. During the raid, the MACC seized 1.6 million litres of diesel and cash amounting to 3.7 million ringgit. The subsidised diesel smuggling syndicate is believed to have been active since 2012. Also in Sarawak, police seized 33 kilograms of methamphetamine, estimated to be worth 1.05 million ringgit in 2 separate raids in Padawan on Wednesday. 2 suspects, a 52-year-old man and a 23-year-old woman, were also arrested in the operation. State Police Commissioner Datuk Mancha Atta said that both arrests were made in Sentosa Parade Batu Tujuh, Jalan Kuching Sirian and Jalan Batu Kitang. The operation was conducted by State Narcotics Criminal Investigation Department NCID based on intelligence. Checks found that the male suspect had prior records related to vehicle theft and extortion, while the female suspect had no prior records. Both suspects also tested positive for amphetamine and methamphetamine. Mancha added that the suspects were paid 100 ringgit per day and used 2 houses to store the drugs before delivering them to buyers based on the syndicate leader's instructions. Police also seized 2 vehicles worth 63,000 ringgit, 3 rings worth 10,780 ringgit and 1,000 ringgit in cash. Both suspects have been remanded for 6 days until September 4th to facilitate investigations under the Dangerous Drugs Act. To a close this time around, we leave you with visuals of Boom Supersonics XB-1 demonstrator aircraft, which has completed its second flight in California, marking another step towards achieving supersonic flight expected later in the year. With that, I'm Azaria Tagaya. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.